Alright, so now I'm back outside the truck underneath the hood here. So I am going to wire, I'm going to plumb my temp sensor in right here. My oil sensor is going on the back of the block, right back by the distributor. Back there where it goes into the block anyway, where it should be. I'll put my gauge out to here for my voltage and run it off this stud probably here. And then right, let's see here if I can show you guys. So somewhere back in here in the firewall there is where I'm going to drill my hole and put a rubber grommet in. And then I'll put all the sensors in through here. Oops, let's see if I can back it back up a little bit. So I'm going to put, I'll get all my sensors mounted, like the temp sensor there, the oil sensor, my voltage gauge, and I'll get it all kind of pulled together here, from here to here, and from back there into this same little harness, and then I'm going to run the whole harness through the firewall there. And that's how I'll connect it. So it'll have just a nice little teeny small wire harness that runs back for everything to go into. And I also got to tie this in there as well. For the air conditioner, it's got to be tied back in. And we'll start doing some other plumbing of stuff over here. Like I got to take all this stuff off here. I've got to plumb in my return line. I've already got the main line plugged in, and it's got its fuel filter right there, the second one. There's another fuel filter in the back where you can get to it easy through the frame rails, but I've got that all tidied up underneath already. I've just basically got to hook things up now, and I got to still get a filler neck that goes right in here that'll go on there, because when I done the radiator I wanted to have a little bit more room in here. So I had my friend Jesse, he cut the neck out, and we welded that. He does a good job. He welded that little piece in the corner, or the neck. That makes it so I can shove this up in here further without the neck being just cut through here and being all nasty looking and looking out of place. I'd rather it be over there. I'd rather it be right about here somewhere in here. And then just bring it over and hook it into the radiator right here where it's already got a hose on it that's just laying there out of the way. And that'll be awesome. So I might climb under it today here shortly. Well, that's what I might do, is I might start thinning out some of this wire, because I'm not going to use hardly any of that. There's like maybe 2 or 3 whole things I'm going to use out of all that wire. The rest of it's just going to be gone, since I've already got my power supply for inside my cab, and I've already got the power supply run off that for all my sensors and things that are going to come off of my cluster that I built. So basically the only thing I'll be using out of here is the wire for, which I think is right here actually. That's the wiring. That right there is the wiring that goes to here. I just got to extend it out and put it where it goes, because if you lay this harness where it goes from the old engine, you're going to have this all is going to be on that side, because the AC compressor used to be on this side, and the alternator was over here to start with before we changed the brackets. So like this wire, I got it just hooked up, so I'm using the power to it right now. This wire is your wire that goes to the back of your alternator that powers everything in the cab, but it lays out nice over to this side here, because that's where the alternator originally was. So I'm gonna have to cut this and splice it somewhere and move it over. I'll probably move it around the back there, run it around the back, and I'll probably lay it down along the back in that valley right there where I'm going to run my little teeny harness. So everything will all be confined to that area, basically, into that little harness, instead of having all this massive mess of rat nest wiring over here. So yeah, just stay with me and we'll keep making more of these videos and keep going along with these, and I'll show you guys step by step how I do this. And then once we get this one done for my buddy, I've got another one here shortly after a couple other projects I'm going to bring in. So you guys will be able to watch how I do the motor mounts, and I'll walk you guys through it from start to finish. But this one I've already been started on it, but I figured I'd share it anyway because it's more unique kind of than what I'm planning on building. It's got a little more fancier stuff to it, like it's got a two-step and everything already installed in it. So with the, I think it's a 3000 stall is what he ended up buying. I can't remember for sure because I put it in like last year before I got sick. But it's got a stall converter and that two-step, and I think he's going to probably put a little bit of nitrous on it once he gets it home. So I just got to get it all put together and running fairly good, and then he can take it home and add his finishing touches to it. So you guys just keep watching and I'll keep showing you what we got going on. Next project's a Mopar project, so you guys will probably won't want to miss that. It's going to be pretty fun. It's kind of a little bit of a rare car. Not going to talk about it a whole ton because we're not ready to do it yet, but you guys just stay tuned and like and subscribe. Alright, so all I'm going to be doing on this part is I'm going to be thinning out some of that wire and doing a little work down there. So I'm going to put it on like a high-speed mode so you guys can see what I'm doing, but it won't sit there and keep you all day sitting there watching me cut all this crappy old wires out and moving stuff around. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so we've got all this wiring all trimmed out now. I'm down to my ground wires here, which I don't want to get rid of any of those till I go in under the dash and see where they all go, because some of them go through the firewall. I got to extend this wire out to hook it back on my alternator again. That's the power wire for everything in the cab. I've got just, this is a stub that I've left here. I got to pull it out from in the harness over in here, out of the plugs here, and unpin it all, whatever I don't need. And I've pulled out a couple of different little pieces that I want to keep. Like some of this wire over here goes into the cab, some of it don't, but you can tell I'm down to about this much harness here now. This thing was about 2 inches around. All the stuff that I took out, it's all right there in a big huge pile. There, I'll zoom in so you can see it down there. That's all the stuff I took out. There's a whole crap ton of stuff. There you go. There's all the everything. So there's going to be more, I'm sure, as I go. But I'm down to about half the wires I've got now. I still got to look because they're kind of color coded. I've looked up all the different colors for this 96 S10. And it's just, there's not much left to it now. And there's just some little stub wires I gotta clip out. Other than that, we're looking pretty good, I think. So just keep on watching and I'll keep on making them.